Bow down before my psycho power.
Some of you may be familiar with Dr. Doom, aka Joe Budden, the guy who became famous for flipping off the camera at Combo Breaker, the guy who became infamous for throwing toilet paper at the commentators, the guy who got disqualified because he walked backstage at that same tournament. This guy has been making a name for himself, and he also has the skills to back it up. Once defeated Bilal, once defeated Ulsan, he now streams on Twitch, he now uploads on YouTube, he now tweets on Twitter, and he recently got blocked by Michael Murray because he was popping off about how this game is also trash. I'm a big fan of his stream. I think you guys should check him out as well, but I wanted to get an interview with him and hear first what happened with Michael Murray and what happened on Twitter, but then we're going to dive into what he believes is the problems with Tekken. Enjoy.
Is in older Tekken games, when you would be new to Tekken, you would actually feel like you're dog shit at this game. It would take 1,000 fucking years to actually become good at this game because of how far away you are from someone that's actually good. But in Tekken 8, they made it really easy to hop into this game. And if you have no fighting game experience whatsoever, be able to actually get to almost like blue rank or something. And that's why they have this stuff like where when you're green rank, that you can't lose in rank and lose points, and then you can only gain points. And I know Tekken 7 is not like a legacy game, but obviously compared to Tekken 8, it's way harder. Being like a new player, there was so much execution with Jin and 7. And when I played that shit, I was on fucking analog stick. I was on assist. And I was fucking hard stuck green rank. And I felt like in my soul that I was probably never going to be good at this game because that's how hard it was to play a character like Jin, and when that was your first fighting game. And that's how like Tekken 7 would make you feel. But I feel like in Tekken 8, they obviously hold your hand, but they don't make people feel like they actually suck at this game. And I think that's also why like Twitter and all that shit, why a lot of people feel like they're an authority talking about this game, because they don't really realize how bad they actually are at Tekken. Because Tekken 8 kind of hides a lot of your flaws. The other thing is too, a lot of bad habits in older Tekken games are actually good habits in Tekken 8. And the reason why I could tell you this is because I had a lot of bad habits in Tekken 7. There was things that good players would always fuck me for doing. When I played Cuddlecore in rank in 7, and I was like Emperor rank or something, I lost like 10-0 to her Lucky Chloe because obviously her fundamentals were way better than mine, and I couldn't touch her. And now then when Tekken 8 released, like the first month of the game or the second month, I was able to beat her with my Claudio with Elisa. And that's kind of how I knew the foundation of Tekken 8 is kind of like Fugazi. And the reason why I know this for sure is because I benefit from the Tekken 8 system. They think casuals are like dumbasses, where they're not going to see someone spamming the same move over and over again because that shit is broken. And not think, wait, maybe this game actually doesn't take that much skill. So that's why I think that as in the casual part of this game, I guess it's decent. Like, I'm not even going to say it's really good, because if you look at the Steam chart numbers, this game is still struggling. I guess the gameplay, it might be better for them, but the public perception for casuals is still so fucked that it hasn't actually translated to there being more players playing this game, even though they made it way easier. And obviously competitive wise, it's completely fucked. But that's why I said that shit on Twitter, because season 1 was moving into such a good direction that I don't know how the fuck they like created water out of like thin air in like a desert, where they invented all these new fucking problems that didn't exist in season 1. Like with adding all these new like homing plus frame heat engager moves that are mids that go into like stance that are like plus 1,000. I don't know like what the fuck they were thinking. That's why I was just like, either everybody at Namco is just a dumbass, or like there's just like green ranks fucking playtesting things. Because how the fuck did any of that shit get let through for season 2? They say the reason we don't balance this game immediately is because of tournament integrity and because of the competitive players. But if you go on fucking Twitter, every single tournament player is complaining about this game. And I remember even seeing like a Joe Crush tweet where he said, we don't give a fuck about the tournaments, just fucking balance this game. That shit matters more to us than the actual tournaments. But I think to also answer your question, it kind of feels like fundamentally this game might never be able to be as good as 7, or obviously any games before that. But I think the reason why 7 is more fun than Tekken 8 is because in 7, you were constantly learning how to run offense in the Tekken 7 system. In Tekken 8, it feels like the learning curve is just learning defense. Playing defense and having to constantly fucking learn defense are two different things. And that's why this game is a lot more taxing, and I think it's a lot less fun. Even if you're a pro player, it feels like it never ends, where you just keep seeing like the most broken fucking situations and plus frames that you are trying to figure out how to work around.
What motivated you to put the tweet out? You tagged the developers, and you were basically talking about like, you know, who made this game. You know, you're going up against a Hauronk, he's spamming a lot of plus frames, and then Michael Murray blocked you. What was like the motivation behind that? What were you experiencing? What were you thinking?
Well, to be honest, if I had Twitter before, I would have been had a tweet out like that, but I just started started having a Twitter. So honestly, the Tekken community is kind of lucky that someone like as unhinged as me wasn't around in like season 1, because obviously I still felt this way in season 1. The other reason why I never liked going on Twitter, and I think is another problem with this game, and I know I'm kind of looking like a dumbass saying this after I posted that, but I think also another reason why the competitive integrity of this game is fucked is because Namco wanted everybody to go on Twitter and do hashtag Tekken 8 report. And the reason why that shit is fucked is 2 reasons. Is one, it feels like the entire marketing of this game, or whenever people hear about this game or see this game, or they go on Twitter and look up Tekken, that 90% of the time is people complaining about shit that's brain dead and broken. And the other problem with that is that not only is like the public discussion of this game being dominated by just balance 24/7, but the other problem is the competitive integrity of this game in tournaments. Imagine if like LeBron James was on Twitter and like added the commissioner and told them to nerf the Warriors. That's kind of how it feels when you see like Arslan Ash and Nee just like complaining on Twitter about characters 24/7, where it makes it feel like the tournaments are less hype because you know that they're just going to complain about the character after they lose. And it's not even something like the player is just better than them. That it's more of just like, you know, they're going to make excuses about the fucking game. And it's kind of Tekken's fault or Namco's fault because they wanted us to do that shit. They wanted us to just spam fucking Tekken 8 report with all the dumbest shit possible. And they didn't think about the ramifications of that happening. So that's why whenever you look at Tekken on Twitter and the public perception of this game is that it's fucking broken, because that's what everybody's just doing. But the reason I kind of did that, I didn't realize how broken Whoring was until I fought like a good Whoring player that actually adapted and used his brain. And when you actually adapt with Whoring and use your brain, the amount of counterplay I feel like you have fighting Whoring is basically 0 to none. And that's why I was kind of fed up fighting this guy. And that's kind of why I did that shit. The characters that are entertaining should be top tier, but they shouldn't be top tier where anybody that sucks at this game or even is decent can actually make them look top tier. Like something like QCB1 with Brian, like someone like Ty, I remember saying, he literally said like, why is this move on my character? Someone like that should be in the fucking Tekken 8 playtesting process. And the funny thing is they did do that, where they had people that were playtesting the game at Evo and stuff before this game launched. And I guess they just didn't fucking listen to them or something, but I don't know. They did change a lot of stuff. I'm not going to say they're sitting here and not listening, but there's just certain stuff that still shouldn't have gone through. The only person that probably understands Tekken at Namco headquarters is Mishima Star. But for some reason, Mishima Star, he wants to only balance Kazuya, but not balance everybody else. Like whenever Kazuya gets something brain dead, that shit gets fucking nerfed in like 2 weeks. But whenever other characters get something brain dead, that shit stays for like entire seasons. There just has to be somebody at Namco headquarters that fucking understands Tekken. And that's why I sometimes think that they actually do have people that understand Tekken, but there's like some like greater fucking power. And I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but like some like Namco fucking higher up that's forcing them to make some of these bad decisions. That's one of the only ways that I can even make sense in my brain why the fuck something like season 2 would even happen.
Let's say season 3 is another season 2. Would you consider quitting and going to like Street Fighter? I know like at the start of season 2, a lot of pros were talking about I'm done. And then, you know, now everyone's playing the game again.
Well, to be honest, I always joke around and say I'm going to be a Marvel Rival streamer because there's a lot of Tekken players that have done that. If the game got really that bad and I wanted to leave, I feel like I could figure something out and leave. But a lot of people in the Tekken community, I feel like are kind of like, and that's why they could kind of abuse us because a lot of people don't really have any other options. And the problem with Tekken compared to 2D games is that like us being good at Tekken doesn't translate to other fighting games. It's not like with Sonic Fox where he's good at one 2D fighter and now he can just beat everybody in every 2D fighter that ever existed. Like we don't even have a fucking 3D fighter that's even out yet that we could even go to. And that's why I don't really give a fuck, is because it sometimes feels like they know that they could kind of abuse us like we're fucking NBA 2K or like Madden, where we don't have any other options. And it's not even just any other options game wise, but I'm not trying to shit on the FGC, but a lot of people just don't have any other options in their fucking life. So that's also why they could kind of take advantage of people, because no offense to a lot of you guys in the FGC, but there's a lot of you guys in really fucked up positions. So that's why I also bring up like the Saudi Arabia stuff, where a lot of you guys are fucking complaining about the Saudi Arabia shit and saying you're going to quit Tekken and all that, or quit FGC. But I know a lot of you guys in the FGC, especially once you start seeing the money that's going to come in, are probably going to come back, because if you leave the FGC, I bet your life is probably going to look really fucking bleak. So that's why I think that, especially with Tekken, that it's kind of going to be hard for this game to get to the point where people are going to quit, because there's a lot of people that like they don't really have any other options. And I mean, I'm lucky that I could fucking stream and people are going to watch me. And I'm not really known for just being good at Tekken, that I actually have like a fucking entertaining personality and shit. So I'll probably be in a better situation than most Tekken players.
Yeah, I think the worst thing you could be known for is being good at Tekken, because I do think the players are kind of trapped in that sense, and I do think the developers know it.
That's what's fucked up, is it feels like they do know that shit.
If that's the case, how do we make real change?
Well, I know Jason Toyota, or whatever that guy's name is. He thinks that being nice to developers and like trying to like give them constructive criticism is going to change shit. Obviously, you guys have been doing that however long fucking season 1 and 2 has been. And obviously that shit didn't work. And I'm not saying to fucking do the same thing I did and call everybody at Bandai Namco headquarters a supreme dumbass. Like, there's really no fucking answer. And the only way that things will actually change is if the game just dies. The other problem is this game dies, it's possible that it could not come back. You could strike this game and say you're not going to play this shit, but if the player base does actually die, this is a fucking business at the end of the day. They might not give fucking Namco, or Namco might not give Harada or whoever the fuck is running Tekken now a second chance to fucking make Tekken 9 if this game actually does just shit the bed and everyone just leaves.